Welcome back.
Hello.
As we thought, we were going to trade some spice to some alien people. And so we're going to start off with the first person we met. Now, spice prices will vary between species to species. Like here, it's a measly 3-digit number, which is pretty bad. You typically want a 4-digit number. You can get up to like 10,000 or so, or even higher. That's a good price. But I think over 1,000 should be pretty decent. It also helps that, depending on it also helps if you can find a planet that doesn't produce the spice you're having as well. Pick any planet which has aliens that produces red spice won't take red spice for any price higher than measly amounts.
You know what the spice reminds me of? And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the reference, if it's a reference to the sci-fi series Dune, where spice is very important.
Yeah, I think that's basically what the reference is.
The spice must flow.
I mean, yeah. I don't think the spice will turn into a superhuman or whatever. I think it's just general spice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these guards are like religious zealots. They will typically get to attack other civilizations. So we'll be going to war at them at some point, since it sure demands it. And they won't trade with us, so fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, in Stellaris it would be probably like the determined exterminators who will try to exterminate everyone except themselves.
Yeah, more or less. So let's see what these guys are. These are actually the diplomatic civilization, so they're actually pretty friendly with us to begin with. Which would be helpful for the missions which requires to have allies and such.
Some of the voices remind me of a Nintendo game where like me-like creatures sit together. I don't know what's called. Not Miitopia, I think. No, not Tamagotchi. Something with life at the end. I don't know what's called.
I don't remember.
Maybe I remember it later.
Yeah. Anyway, so these really good prices got some more badges for just traveling around. Let's see, there's a couple of ones over here. I think these are the ones that I get some good prices on. At least I'm producing yellow spices, so these should be able to get a good price for our red spice.
How many different spices are there?
A lot of them. There's red, blue, green, purple, pink. A lot of them.
Are there some rarer than others, or are they basically even?
Red is very common, blue and yellow is somewhat more common. I think purple and pink are very rare.
I assume you can get like then easily like 6-digit amounts for those.
Yeah, typically.
Well.
But of course, depending on which alien, sometimes you just get decent prices, bad prices, sometimes just excellent prices. So if you can sell a certain spice for a great amount of money, you want to recall where that place is and make a note of it, so you can sell all the spice to them later for even more inflated prices.
I got the impression for like every 5 to 10 planets, there's only one good one with prices so far.
More or less.
I mean, at least that's my impression from the video.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. I think this next one is going to be doing some treasure hunting. Or, yeah, no, it's actually going to be painting planets. So there are 2 collectibles. You can collect artifacts and sculpting tools. Sculpting tools are basically just things that allow us to paint planets and terraform them slightly. Only just for fun. It's not really any real purpose for doing so. You can get badges if you do so.
They did planet painting before Aston, yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like that, except on you to paint the entire planet. You can paint the atmosphere and the water as well.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit faster than even with the biggest.
Yeah, you'll see in a moment, since it's a mission and it's a very easy mission. They say you don't want you to paint their home planet, but you can paint any planet and no one will really care, I think.
Yeah. Make every pink like planet pink or something.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So this one returns the atmosphere red, which you can't see because this planet has no atmosphere. We can paint the ground and we can paint the water.
That planet looks safe to land on.
Yeah, this place is basically boiling, so it keeps spawning fire geysers and everything.
Yeah. I want to land on this planet and curb a space program. Explode. The rocket explodes.
Explodes on the impact is because the guys just popped up right when you land.
Yeah. That's safe.
Anyway, so that was a pretty quick one. These missions are generally going to be mostly quick. You just go to the planet, do the thing, and then you get your money. And the next one is going to be artifacts, which is basically any kind of collectible. You find them in random planets, and you can sell them to any species for a set amount of money. More money if you collect the whole collection. But the problem is that you have very limited inventory space. So you can't really collect a lot of them without running out of room.
Oh.
And you're gonna
So you have to do it in steps or something?
Well, it's not really worth collecting the whole set unless you got like a lot of inventory space in like late game. So for the most part, if you find any artifacts, just sell them.
Okay.
You still get some decent money for them, and unlike spices, the price is always the same wherever you go.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. You can tell there's something in there because of these yellow lines in the planet. There could be three things where you find those yellow lines. It could be an artifact, it could be a painting tool, or it could be pirates, which we'll see all in this video.
I liked how underwhelming this one planet looked. It was just red and that's it.
Yeah.
Like lame Mars or something.
And here we got this rock and a stone.
Not Excalibur.
Nope.
Oh wait, there's no copyright, but...
Probably. Let's see. Just to go to it, and then you just beam it up, and it's ours. If you try to beam up any artifacts in another alien's planet, they'll not take that kindly. They take that as a hostile action.
Ooh.
But as long as the planet that the treasure is on is uninhabited, even if it's on another colony, you should be safe. Just to keep it in mind if you don't want to go to war with someone. You can also get little flavor text for all their artifacts. So this is Will's old sword. Name was taken from the Will Wright. And it's a bit hard to read, but it says Ancient Relics of the Fruit Wars.
That makes
And I think the general idea is that some guy used it to fight wars, and when it blade turned dull, instead of fixing it, he just stuck a rock in it and then bashed everybody with it. It's a max game. They have some pretty good flavor text.
Yeah.
Let's see now. I think we also gonna get a mission to sell the artifact, which is very good because it allows us to get even more money. And it's pretty simple. You just go to any single alien and you sell it. The price is all the same. You can get more if you sell the whole collection, but inventory space, it's not worth it. At least early on.
Is there a high density of like alien civilizations, or is this random, or is there like a slider for that at the beginning of the game?
What now?
How many other civilizations there are when you go out? Is there like...
I think it's low in the beginning. They do naturally expand as time goes on.
Oh, okay.
So they start off with a very few, but then as time goes on, you see them expand and expand unless you attack them.
Okay.
Anyway, we got to sell some energy packs, which allows us to travel around space a lot longer. Because you probably noticed that every time we go to another planet, we expend energy. And if you run out of energy, you'll start taking damage to your ship, which naturally will lead to your ship exploding if you don't fix your energy.
By the way, the game with the artificial voices that I meant is called Tomodachi Live.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Weird voices.
Yeah, that game actually. Let's see. I think we're basically doing trade. Yeah, it's trading here. So trading is basically the same like in Civilization stage, except you actually trade the spices as well. So if you trade with Civilization, which has a different spice from what you have, you can get a little bit from them when you go to your home planet. And of course, you can also buy out the planet once you trade it for a certain amount of time.
Have you set up a colony yet?
I had set up a colony. It doesn't have any spice production. We will handle that in just a moment, since we now get a mission to terraform.
That's convenient.
Yeah. And then also the reason why you want to do the missions is because you get the tools to terraform as well. Early on, the tools you need to use them are consumables, and they're very expensive. So having one to start off with is a very good idea.
I mean, you seem to run a bit low on money when you compare, like...
Yeah, money is really hard to get by early on, which is why doing missions is a very good idea. Because you get free stuff and you get easy access to early money, which is going to help dramatically. Since early on, everything's going to be extremely expensive, and it's going to get more and more expensive as you upgrade to better weapons and tools and all that.
Does this game get a little bit easier as time goes on with the scaling because you have a big empire, or does it get harder?
It gets a little bit harder until a certain point, since everything just gets pricier and pricier.
Okay.
But then at some point, you basically just pass the difficulty rate and you use basically the strongest thing in the world.
Okay.
You can just goof around and do whatever. But I'll be cheating by that point, so there's no need to really worry about that. Anyway, so to terraform a planet, you have to make sure the atmosphere and the temperature is about even. Right now, this is a planet that's cold and has no atmosphere. Or actually just has only no atmosphere. It's actually decent in temperature. We just have to fill this planet with oxygen. Or whatever these things breathe. Now this machine has been deployed and will provide the planet with some atmosphere. And after a while, we'll be able to reach that outer ring in the circles. And then we'll be able to add plants to the planet to stabilize the atmosphere. After that, we have to add some herbivores and then some carnivores in order to make a stable ecosystem to stabilize the terraspore. And then after that, we can build more buildings in our colonies. As you can see there, you just went to terrascore 1, but we need to stabilize it by placing down plants now. You need one small, medium, and large plant of a different species to be able to stabilize it. You cannot use more of you cannot use more than one of the same type.
Now you're done, basically.
Not yet. We need to place down some animals.
Oh, like 3 plants. Oh, you've done all the plants. I mean, the plants you plant down other plants.
Yeah.
But...
Anyway, now we need two herbivores and 1 carnivore. Omnivores would count as carnivores, so don't place them down expecting them to survive on greens. I don't know why. You also want to place them near the places where they can get food, or else you just risk starving to death immediately.
Okay.
So place the herbivores near plants and place the carnivore near the herbivores, and you should be good.
I just imagine like a parody, like if Spore were real life. Oh no, we have to stabilize the atmosphere. Plant like 3 flowers in the backyard. Oh, we've done it.
Yeah. Yeah, once you place down 1 tree, we'll just keep growing more trees all around.
Yeah.
In like seconds, it's kind of ridiculously fast. But yeah, the higher your scores, the more colonies you can place on a single planet, and the more buildings you can build. As of right now, I'm going to place down like 3 of them. So it's very recommended to increase the terra score as high as possible. But that's expensive because you need a lot of tools early on. Later on, you get better tools which just consume power in order to affect the score. So that makes it a lot easier. That will be a while before we can do so. One annoying thing though is that every time you colonize a planet, you have to manually select all the buildings each time, which is a bit tedious.
I guess at one point you just select random things.
Yeah, more or less. I just picked up whatever it is the person made of this thing. And it's the same thing like in Civilization mode. You place down buildings and they produce stuff. Except factories produce spice instead of money this time around. And of course some happiness so that you don't just get unhappy. And here I'm just for turning my monopoly ments into spice miners or whatever. Or something like that, I don't know. It's a bit hard to design stuff for like space tech stuff, so...
It looks a bit inconvenient, the editor. It's a bit like trying to design anything else in the Kerbal Space Program editor than a plane or a rocket.
It's not very intuitive, these parts.
Yeah.
I think they just needed more parts to play around with and such, but oh well. I do like a little antenna added to the top of the helmet.
Must scan. Oh, how is scanning going? Oh, right.
Well, anyway, that's done with.
Oh, our dystopian off-world colony.
And I think the only mission left is to declare war. I think. No, it's make an ally and then declare war. So ally is going to be a bit troublesome because you have to get them to green happy smile in order to make allies with people. And you can either just give them money, but money is a bit sparse right now, since we only have like 16k.
No.
So another way you can do so is to do missions for the other civilizations. Which is actually good because they're pretty quick and easy to do, and you get some money for doing it. And an alliance allows you to get other civilizations shipped to your party once you reach a certain status. They can help you in fighting and such, which can be pretty neat.
We come with nothing except love. Like, they don't have any money.
Anyway, so I think this planet is a painting tool. Because you don't get them through buying them, you get them through just finding them random planets. Because colors are so hard to find, I guess.
What is the nature of a color?
So I think that's an ocean tool for aqua-colored ocean.
Can you build those colors later on, or
no, you just have to find them, which is a bit obnoxious.
And when you use them once, you have to find them again. Or what?
No, they're usable. So you just use them as much as you like.
Oh, I see. That's good.
It's just a matter of finding all the colors, which is going to take forever. So you can do one mission per planet for each alien species. If you complete one mission for a species, you have to go to another planet in order to continue on with them.
No.
So this one is going to actually be an adventure mission because I have the Adventures expansion pack. And adventure is going to be quite an interesting thing, but I'm going to show off the first one in its entirety, just give you an idea how they're like, explain a bit how the thing works and everything. And the next, another one is just going to be highlights because they can take quite a while to go through.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are pretty cool, some of them are not so much. We're going to see the ones that are not so much because, I don't know.
Stare at a hole for 10 hours.
More or less. This is literally just a tutorial adventure, except it's tutorial by explaining everything instead of showing it, which is pretty bad. I won't be customizing the captain just yet because I don't have any stuff to play around with. And it takes a little bit of a while to load, but yeah, so anyway, so Adventures was a part of the Galactic Adventure expansion. It allows you to make your own adventures by using creatures, buildings, and other such things to basically create your own adventure and such. You can make into an adventure where you fight stuff, talk to people, explore, and other such things. The editor was pretty intuitive, and you can actually make some pretty interesting adventures. And since the Spore online components of Spore is still available, you can still download adventures and play around with them. A bit of a problem with is that most people would like to make buildings to make props out of, like cars or stuff that aren't like buildings. But the game still treats them as buildings, and sometimes just pull it down and use them for other aliens' buildings.
No.
So for example, you can have like a giant teddy bear as a town hall. A giant pacifier for like an industry building, and a bunch of other weird stuff because of how it works. We're gonna see a lot more interesting adventures as we play through. Not all of them, because there are quite a number of them. I think there's like one adventure for each space archetype, like peaceful, trader, and other such things and such. And this is just the tutorial missions for space captains. I think I recall showing you this tutorial mission for like, with those really freakish bunny things.
I remember something. It was quite a while ago, I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but there's two tutorials depending on if you play directly from the main menu or play it in-game in the space stage.
So that guy's stranded here forever, I guess.
More or less. He's talking about, oh, if you describe this podcast, you can get more adventures, or you can download them from the internet.
He's just there as a stern warning to everyone. I was once a bright young adventurer than you. Then I stranded, became old and bitter. annoy everyone.
Yep. And this guy's gonna tell us, hey, if you play adventures, you get experience. If you're getting enough experience, you can unlock new parts.
They remind me
It's a
like
bit of
of
a pain in the
characters
ass
from the
because-
Star Wars prequels for some
Yeah.
reason.
It's a bit of a pain in the ass because most adventures that are made by other players give a minuscule amount of experience. Unlike pre-made and Max's adventures actually give a decent amount. And there's only so many of them.
You know what this alien looks like? Like a crossover between a mole, Watto from Star Wars, and a bee.
Maybe.
It's actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I think we're almost done with this particular adventure now. We should talk to Space Captain Asshole or whatever. What the heck would a spotted be anyway?
I guess it's like a space elephant in this universe. Like,
I don't know. I used to imagine more like one of those weird ball thing like Star Trek or something.
oh no, tribbles, they
Yeah.
multiply.
I mean, those could do some serious damage if you let them just let loose. And
Oh no, it's an authoritarian robot planet.
Yeah.
Follow my orders.
Anyway, that's the end of that adventure, which was not really much of an adventure at all. I mean, I guess it's nice to look at the buildings that the people designed as such, but otherwise, eh. You don't really learn by telling people a large lines of text in this way.
Yeah, it was just really boring. You just
It's
go
really
from
boring.
that just to the other one.
And the next one also going to be a bit boring. The one, so the next part is going to be a bit more interesting because there's one that's basically like StarCraft, except you actually get to be down playing as a soldier. You can see buildings explode and everything, which is pretty cool.
Yay, I've done my paperwork to go from this space photo.
Yeah. I think what this mission was, just paperwork.
Yay.
Anyway, so now we get to choose one part as a reward. I'm gonna pick the health generation, because that could be handy. I probably should have chosen an actual weapon because you'll see later on that unless you have a good weapon, fighting is a bit of a pain in the ass. Because you'll use basically the weapon you had in the creature stage. Which in my case will just be biting, and then the amount of biting, which is pathetic. Right, yes, that's one mission, but we're not quite friendly with them yet, so we need to do another one. Going off that, no, you cannot ask out another mission after you got completed one.
No.
You need to go to another planet, right, for now.
The dragon looked like something from like a Japanese online game. I don't know why I get this.
I don't know. I guess online games are typically where you find dragons and such.
Yeah, I guess.
And most.
I mean, I didn't mean like the design is awful or something. It was just somehow, I don't know,
I
some...
don't know, sometimes you can find some decent looking things in like MMOs and such. It's just that most of them are just mass produced and such.
Yeah.
Let's see, I think this one is really dumb because it's basically just Romeo and Juliet except space and dumber.
It's insane.
And I think this is basically the peaceful archetype mission as well. Oh wait, first we get to see pirates, so there's some action at least.
Yeah, piracy.
Pirates with weird Kraken spaceships. Or whatever the hell that was.
The Reapers from Mass Effect, but on a budget.
Maybe, that's probably exactly what you are. Oh god.
I want robots or something that wipe out civilizations, but only for 5 cents a piece. Wow, that was a threat.
Yeah, sometimes you have pirates. Sometimes you have pirates attacking your home planets, and that's kind of annoying. They're not very tough, but they'll wreck your shit if you let them attack them. It's basically like looking after colonies in Fallout 4. It's really obnoxious, and it's just so annoying when it happens.
It's almost like babysitting or just.
Yeah, it basically is
nuisance.
just babysitting because the people can't handle themselves at all.
What is food? Like a reference to Fallout or whatever.
Yeah.
Or guess some random killer robot is doing
Yeah,
something.
so anyway, I'm just designing the captain's outfit.
More handles.
Yeah,
More handles means higher skill.
again, not many parts to play around with because I just created this captain. And I only play. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet some people make like really amazing stuff like giant things, but it takes forever and then it bugs out.
Yeah, more or less. You can actually find a lot of cool creations in Spore. I'm sure there are still people making some cool creations out there. It's kind of amazing considering how old this game is. It's like it's like almost like 15 years or so at this point, isn't it? No.
I think it's quite old, right? It should be like late 2000.
It wasn't released in 2008, so it's definitely over 10 years.
What the hell? That mustache.
Yep. I think they even used the mustache for eyebrows as well.
So two civilizations almost went to war against each other.
I told you this is basically Romeo and Juliet. So these are just like the one family that hates the other one, and we deliver a message to the family who hates the one family.
Imagine if you screw up in such a way that they ally each other because they hate you or something. Like, oh, this person's...
Like, oh, I hate you, but I don't hate as much as this guy. Let's be friends.
Oh, we have so much in common, we should ally.
Yes.
Like, oh no, everything.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna cut so that you don't take forever, because this mystery is mostly just walking and talking to people. I'm just gonna show the talking and skip all the walking, because that's boring. So you can always tell that they gave stupid names to Romeo and Juliet, just so it's different. It's just a mixture between Romeo and Juliet and Romeo. It's dumb as hell. Like Romulette. That sounds like an omelette.
That looks like a Groucho Marx mask on the chest.
Yeah, it does kind
With
of.
the two plates and the, I don't know, cloth.
What is that hat?
I think there are a lot of questions.
It looks like he has a base on top of his hat.
Yeah.
I love how there's just like a guy just stuck in the right.
A vase from Pottery Simulator has escaped. It's just like a pot on the top.
Yeah.
Cooking pot.
So yes, they apparently hate each other, have two kids who love each other. And unfortunately the story doesn't end in the kids dying. So it already sucks. Spoilers. Also, for some reason you can jump really high in this level.
Gravity doesn't apply.
Not really. I think you can set the gravity to be whatever you like. For some reason the gravity is set to be extremely low. There's not really much to say about this. I mean... Also, oh my god, that's hideous.
Yeah, it's like, female character, put eyeballs on.
Yeah. Like,
And they all have the same voice, like, oh.
yeah, they don't have any variations on creature voices. It's just depending on what mouth they have. The voice, the other mouth is not like a bird or insect. They just have this very masculine voice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Marion.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And finally has to lead us to over here, and that's it. This is definitely not one of the more exciting adventures.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the other ones will be slightly more interesting since they'll actually include some sort of combat. That's for next time.
Oh, I almost wiped everyone out because of my son. I like how tired the soldiers look in the back. Like, oh, just end.
I think they also want this just to end as quickly as possible.
Let me die.
I want to kill. Let's just kill each other so we don't have to suffer this anymore. Please, boss.
Anything where something happens. Know that alien is a elk or something?
No. Anyway, that was shit. But I think that should be enough to make these guys like us. Yep, green happy face.
Wow, you survived this boring mission. You are truly
You
powerful.
said you had 2 boring missions. You must be an excellent diplomat. Finally, we can become allies with these guys.
Just fill out those forms. Like, no, not more paper, man.
You thought that you had enough paperwork, but you'll never have enough paperwork as a diplomat. Oh, that's fun. That was fun. Now all we have to do is declare war, finally. Now, typically you don't want to go declaring war until you got like decent weapons and everything. But I'll show off what it's like to go fighting stuff. Now, funny enough, both of these tutorial windows actually lead to going to war, so it's like, why? Go to war, or go to war. That's your option.
There is no option. Oh no.
And it will default to going with the most hostile alien species, in this case the religious zealots, which I think will basically go fighting other aliens if you let them be. And that just gets really annoying because your allies just keep crying, please help us, they're attacking us,
no.
every time. Again, like the Fallout settlement thing. And we don't really have much in the way of weapons, but we aren't really going to really get in the way of weapons unless we go to war. So might as well get this over with. Now, colonies like these are usually very easy targets because there's only one of them. And if they're placed in a planet with no atmosphere or anything, then they don't have any buildings, so it's very easy to conquer them. I say conquer, but you're most likely just going to end up destroying the whole colony entirely.
So just kick over a hut somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, more or less.
Brilliant.
Now here you can see how shit our weapons are right now.
Wow.
It takes a good couple of hits to take down these guys. And yeah, it would be easy.
I mean, you have quite a bit of health, I think.
Yeah, I think we have decent amount. I think we have decent amount of health, but later on when we try to actually take on their main city, it becomes a lot more harder because you got more vehicles, more defense, such. It becomes a lot more harder.
That looked like a giant cookie or a pizza. Oh no, there are like a million of them.
They're basically using the same ship that I'm using, so... And the thing about fighting is that you can sometimes get money drops from them. It's not much from enemy spaceships, but colonies can actually produce a pretty decent amount from them.
So you just fought Shadowling, or the equivalent of it. Like
Well,
UFO.
Not really, they're just using my spaceship because they randomly pick stuff. And since they don't have the town hall, we can just burn it to a crisp.
Melt the foundation.
And
no.
And now finally we got some decent weapons and we got promoted.
You lived long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep.
Actually, it was just a tutorial. So it's okay.
Yeah, so that's a pretty decent amount, 48k.
Wow, now you have over 100k.
Yeah. It can be profitable if you go for colonies. It's like basically plundering. But now these guys will occasionally attack us unless we make peace with them. Which can be pretty hard if they're very angry with us. Relationships will decline over time, so they will stop getting angry at us at some point.
Can they immediately attack you back or something?
It takes a while for them to attack, but they will attack at some point.
Yeah.
Anyways, they don't have any tutorials, more missions for us. But they will have new missions for us. They basically want us to colonize more planets. And eventually will lead us to missions where we try to figure out what the heck the whole Grox thing in the last part is all about.
Okay.
Which means we have to go to the center of the universe. And they're telling us, we won't give you any more free stuff, you're on your own.
No.
So if we want to colonize places, we have to pick it out of our own budget.
Well,
Thanks.
I think the video's almost over.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's for now. It's for now. We'll be seeing more stuff, and I'll eventually just go ahead and cheat the game and get this to the end, because as fun as this game is, it's not worth spending forever just grinding all the time. Especially
I guess it just becomes a boring management game after a while.
Yeah. And again, the goal is to get to the center universe and everything, and the other stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, ending recording.